And so concludes the round of 16, and we have divided the teams by 2 again. A thriller between Argentina and Egypt, and then penalties to decide Switzerland and Colombia. An anxious day. Welcome. Thanks for joining me again. I'm Adrian, and there are no matches today. The first day without matches since the tournament began. I cannot wait to just relax in the evening, but not too much. Still have the quarterfinals preview to come out tomorrow, and our friend the supercomputer is back in action for us. I'm going to film that in a second, so I'll be wearing the same t-shirt, guys, but don't worry, I'll change the light color. Well, guys, wow. Egypt and Argentina, what a game, what a comeback. It all started with Yasser Ibrahim scoring his second ever goal for Egypt in the first half, which was also the first time Argentina had conceded a shot on target in the first half of a game in this tournament. No wonder I mixed up first and second there. So many times I had to say it. Then Tagliafico won a penalty, and what I really didn't like about the penalty that he won is how he had zero interest in the ball, and he jumped and dragged his foot along the ground into the defender. So I was happy to see justice be served when Messi hit a stinky penalty once again, hit at the perfect place for the keeper to make a good save if they guess in the right direction. Not far enough in the corner, at the perfect height for the keeper, for Schober to save. Pretty crazy though. I guess he thought he'd play it safe with his placement, given how the last one went, where he put it wide of the target. The man can only score from open play now, and free kicks. His record is 4 from 8 when it comes to World Cup penalties. That is really crazy. It's a coin flip. There was an incredible save again from Mostafa Schober on McAllister, a point-blank header that he had to react quickly to. Of course, not a great header from McAllister, as it could have used some more direction. But still, what a performance from him, as later Tagliafico would set up Alvarez. Alvarez would take a nice swing at it, but Schober again would get low to make an exceptional save. He was fantastic in this game. At the half, the stats read 2 shots from Egypt, 1 on target, the goal, and 1 touch in Argentina's box, the goal. Now that's some efficiency that rivals Morocco. The second half felt a bit like when England were down a man in the final minutes against Mexico, and they would just hoof the ball up the pitch when they got it, or try to counter now and then. Absolute bunker ball, but then out of nowhere, they were 2-0 up from a stunning counterattack. Haitham Hassan, who plays for Real Oviedo, was a problem down the right. He beat a few players, then played Zico through, and he made no mistake with the great finish, but there was a foul along the way on Lisandro Martinez. It looked slight, but there was a step on the foot as well as a grab of the shirt. So very, very fortunate for Argentina. You hate to see it for Egypt. Without stepping on the foot, there's no way that they give that as a foul. But with the grab of the shirt, the hip-on-hip action, and the step on the foot, I don't know how we can say, with all of these things considered, it's clean. And guys, I would have loved to see an upset here. That's what makes this sport fun to watch. Nothing against Argentina, but any upset is nice. But I don't know how we can call that a clean winning of possession, as people are trying to do. I think the thing that feels the grossest about it is how it happens at the opposite end of the pitch, and it was considered the same phase of play. That's what I'm thinking. But when the goal was disallowed, I think most of us thought, great, this is the momentum shift. A break like this will only cause one thing, a swing in Argentina's direction, and they will go on to win this, and we will be robbed of a fun underdog story, right? But Egypt's counterattacking football under Haitham Hassan has been insane. And after an Argentina corner, Salah drove the ball up the pitch, played it wide to Hassan, the danger man, and he squared to Zico, the goal-scoring sensation, to make it 2-0. Unbelievable. It really looked like the end for Argentina. They could not defend against counterattacks. It really looked like they would be just another World Cup winner that fails in dramatic fashion and gets dumped from the World Cup. It really looked like this was the last time that we would see Lionel Messi in an Argentina shirt. But Messi moved to the right channels, his old office where he was such a dominant player, vintage Messi, and quickly gets an assist as Romero pulls one back. 2-1 Egypt. 11 minutes remaining. Messi breaks Maradona's assist record with that assist, number 8. Then he clearly got the assist of the tournament. A mazy run, and Martinez's header went over and wide, both over and wide, I believe. Only 4 minutes later, after the ball looped up, Montiel touched it to Messi and he smashed a volley that Schober nearly kept out, just didn't get enough of it, and they complete the comeback with a stunning counter. Enzo Fernandez with a great header for 3-2 after being 2-0 down with 11 minutes remaining. Argentina win 3-2 before extra time. Look, Egypt played a stunning match. They were really good. Maybe they should have buckled down a little bit more towards the end and just protected that lead. To get caught with that many men forward in added time at 2-2 and screw yourself out of getting to extra time, another 30 minutes to make something happen, you know? You hate to see it. It undoes what was such a brilliantly played game plan from Hossam Hassan and his fellas. But they suffered the same fate as Senegal, you know, winning with about 10-ish minutes left, winning by 2, just like Senegal, and capitulating. And by the way, that was absolutely not a foul on Salah in the lead up to Argentina's goal. He was manufacturing the contact. Watch it again. He tried to do it twice, actually. The ball was already gone. Alvarez won the tackle, and he stepped his foot into Alvarez with his toes pointing down. I mean, what kind of step is that? So, a great comeback from Argentina, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, but a big shout out to Egypt, who were fantastic in this game, and they have to be proud of themselves for how they played in this tournament. History makers for their nation, big time. There was a lot of talk of robberies, which I don't buy personally. I think the major calls were all correct as I went through, except for the Tagliafico penalty. I hated that call. I think the biggest thing is that Egypt blew a 2-0 lead, more so than officiating screwed them. They were denied going 2-0 up with a disallowed goal. Then they went 2-0 up, and they blew that 2-0 lead, unfortunately. But like I said, they must be proud of themselves for how they played this tournament and all they achieved. And so the final match of the round of 16, everyone's tired. It's Switzerland versus Colombia. Switzerland just quietly going about their business in their tournament, while Colombia have also been quite good, and their fans were anything but quiet in Vancouver. Tons of them in the stadium, like it was a home match for Colombia, and tons of them at watch parties down at Jackpool Plaza. There was no Manzambi in this one for Switzerland. He hurt his knee in training, and that was a huge loss to Switzerland's attack. Perhaps it really was a relatively quiet first half, or maybe it was just the whiplash of going from that second half of Argentina versus Egypt to this, because whatever followed would be set up for failure by comparison, right? But the first half was quiet. So was the second. Reader, a decent chance for Switzerland, but the best chance of the half fell to Puerta for Colombia outside of the box. I thought that was going in for sure, but Gregor Kobel flew through the air to swat it away. Great save by him. During the first half Infantino break, Xhaka was allegedly extremely animated and frustrated with his teammates, but their performance didn't improve for quite some time. Ardon Jashiri was subbed off at halftime, which made sense as he was having tons of difficulty having any kind of effect on this match, and his replacement, Djibril Sow, got on the end of a cutback almost immediately, but fluffed his lines with the finish. As they have always done in this tournament, Switzerland were extremely good at neutralizing the attacking threats of their opposition. Luis Diaz had very little joy. Luis Suarez had very little joy. James got barely anything done. He was hauled off after 66 minutes. By their own great standards, their attack really struggled against Switzerland. I thought that Nico Elvedi was really good in this match, as was Granit Xhaka once again, who, man, his passing is just so accurate and good. It's all I could really come up with in this game. Not many clear-cut chances at all. A combined expected goals of 0.7 between the two teams. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to find interesting things to talk about from this game, but it was tough. It was tough. At least in extra time, it came alive a bit. You had Colombia hitting the crossbar from a corner, and then they started shooting from everywhere, and hey, why not, you know? It added some excitement to the game. It got Kobel working and encouraged more excitement. Zeki Amdouni almost scored with his first touches, forcing a great save out of Vargas. Extra time was good. Colombia's best chance was from a Xhaka mistake. Surprise, surprise, as Campas was one-on-one with Kobel and he blazed it over the bar, but once again, nothing came of extra time, so we were heading to a shootout. All was going well for everyone in the shootout until Davinson Sanchez hit the ball with so much force that it hit the crossbar. A couple of kicks later, and Manuel Akanji missed for Switzerland, skying it over the bar. He also missed in Switzerland's shootout against England in Euro 2024, you'll remember. Luckily for Akanji, Gregor Kobel would save Hernandez's penalty, meaning Colombia had missed twice from the opening 4 penalties, and in the end, Ruben Vargas converted the winner for Switzerland. That save from Kobel in the shootout was gorgeous. That save he made on Puerta earlier in the match as well. I mean, he was man of the match in this match, I would say. So without Manzambi, the Swiss make it through still by the skin of their teeth, again, quietly just doing their thing, getting the job done. Could they upset Argentina? Yes, for sure they have the ability to do so. Doing it is another question. Now that the round of 16 is completed, let's look at the top scorers and assists for this tournament thus far. And of course, Lionel Messi leads the Golden Boot race with 8 goals. Mbappe and Haaland are on 7. Kane is on 6. Then there's a million men on 4 after that. Michael Olise is still the leader when it comes to assists. He's on 5, though Brahim Diaz has made up some ground on him, while Sheldrup, Odegaard, Saka, etc. are on 3. All right, my friends, another daily recap in the books. Like I said, no matches today, so we will get you that quarterfinals preview for tomorrow. Sound good? All right, guys. See you then. Bye.